Hello and welcome back to the 2018 Canadian Ultimate Championships here in Brampton, Ontario. Becky Thompson up in the booth with Etienne Fournier. We've got a women's semifinal matchup here for you today against Stella from Ottawa in Ontario, Venus out of Quebec, and sure to be an exciting matchup here today.
Number 3 meeting number 8 based on the initial seeding, but you know we are in the semifinals, so the initial seeding at this point is kind of meaningless, so looking forward for a very exciting women's game. At stake is an access to the holy final of this Canadian Ultimate Championship 2018. We are here in Brampton, Ontario. The weather's nice, temperature is not too hot, a little windy, but just to add some more fun into this game. So looking forward for a great confrontation between this ongoing rivalries between Ottawa and Montreal. These two players I've met, I'm sure, a few times leading to this national championship and in the previous years also. So the players from both teams knowing the opposite players very well. So look forward for a very close matchup. Venus coming from a quarterfinal against Salty, which they have won on the Universal. So emotionally, they are very driven entering this game. So looking forward to how it's gonna, what would be the output of all this emotion you get from winning another game on the Universal.
Yeah, definitely the momentum on their side coming into this one. Stella having a close game against Toxics as well, I believe only winning by about 3 points. So we'll see what they can accomplish here. The first pull, women's semifinal underway. This now centered into the middle for Stella. The person-to-person look here from Venus as that one narrowly upfield. Samantha Green saying that she had that one in her hands before. It looks like no contest.
Venus sending a strong message right off the bat, say, hey, we're gonna battle you hard for every possession.
That one bobbled but kept in play with Ellis. Shooting a floaty one.
There was a call. I believe there's a Stella player down with the Venus player also. Seems to be Cat Vio seems to be I don't know if she's suffering. So it's the second time we're doing a webcast this weekend featuring Venus. We saw them winning their pool play on Thursday. I believe they won like 15-4 if I'm not mistaken. So substitution on the Stella side, an injured player. It doesn't seem too bad. So Vernay, number 18, looks like she's twisted her ankle, I believe.
Yeah, and she's got an ankle brace down on that one as well. So hopefully she's all right. The disc will be sent back as the injury was called while that disc was in the air, I believe. So Ellis will have the disc back in possession here for Stella, looking still for their opening hold of the game. Ellis now. Tight defensive pressure here from Venus. Running out of options, finds one narrowly upfield as they continue to swing it to the far sideline. Now back in the middle with Green. Upfield now, Alicia Zhao finds Ellis. Swung to Green. Shoots the around backhand to the end zone. The receiver through the contact manages to come down with that one. Stanoyev with the first goal here for Stella and the hold, and it's 1-0.
That was a great disc reading. She was in a position to just receive this disc, but when she saw the pressuring Venus defender, she said, oh no, I'm going to need to attack that disc, which I believe Venus defender was a little surprised. She thought that the defense was within her reach, but the great attacking disc to score the first point of Stella, now leading 1-0 at the beginning of this semi-final. Alors, merci d'être avec nous. On est en les demi-finales du championnat canadien dans la division féminine, alors qu'on voit Vénus de Montréal qui s'oppose à Stella d'Ottawa. Stella qui porte les chandails noirs, tandis que Vénus porte les chandails blancs. Vénus qui a commencé en défensive. Stella qui a inscrit le premier point de ce match. Alors Stella qui était initialement classée 3e du tournoi, alors que Vénus était classée 8e. Vénus qui revient d'un match très émotif. Une victoire sur point universel contre Salty de Halifax les a qualifiés pour cette demi-finale. Alors on vous souhaite un excellent match avec nous.
So that one in play now. Our first look at the defensive line from Stella and the O-line here from Venus. Disc in play now, swung into the middle. Demel with the disc now shooting upfield to Bessette Brout. Tight coverage in the middle, but not affecting the throws here for Venus as Pai has it, but a pick called upfield.
Paillet has had a pivotal role in Venus O-line. She has a lot of touches and possession on Venus O-line, and so far she has done a very great job in this tournament.
That one floating high towards the end zone, lots of coverage, and Doucet will come down with that one. The shot deep now, looking for Katie Atchell. That one's going to be too far out of her reach, and Martine Doucet doing a great job to read that one among the coverage there. Now Venus, another chance to go upfield. Danielle Cantel trying to put on the defensive coverage, and now Desmarais, a call on the mark.
Stella's defense so far has been very pressuring, and they will need to do so in order to get the break points, in order if they expect to win this game. Now we see the win picking up.
Demel shoots upfield to find Baudouin, and that one picked off here by Stella as well.
We see both teams on their mark, but there's always a little bump, very, very tight marks. Baudouin bidding for a disc, not sufficient. Cantal still in possession.
Dawson now shooting that one nice and low, but managed to be reeled in anyways, and it looks like that will be down called on that disc. That one just trailing off a little bit as it flew down towards that far sideline. So the observer will come in to help figure this discussion out.
Alors, les observeurs qui se réunissent pour trancher la question. Un disque.
Looking, Cantel with the pressure defense and gets just a finger touch to it as well.
So both teams trying the long game, haven't been successful yet early in this first half.
Now looking deep the other way, Doucet reels that one in easily. Yards of separation there. Now shooting up line, looking for Hannah Dawson. That one not intended for the receiver, but manages to get the goal and the first break here for Stella, and it's 2-0.
The output of this point was not the initial intention, but still Stella gets a first break point early in this first half, now leading 2-0. So there was a lot of turnover in the last point. Venus trying to put it long without any success yet, and Stella responding with a long pass, about 45 yard long, and 2 passes later there was a break point in favoring Stella. So 2-0 early in this game.
So Venus looking for some kind of response here. They've managed to generate some good options so far in this game, but Stella taking advantage of the second turnover there from Venus to go all the way downfield. The speed of Stella definitely a factor early in this game as well, so Venus just needing to focus a little bit more on themselves, and we've seen them string together some good passes, so continue to do that.
Alors, Stella qui mène 2-0 vient d'inscrire leur premier point bris tôt dans cette première demi. Voyons voir ce que Venus répondra.
Now that one shot downfield, just outside of the end zone. Richard with the disc on the doorstep and a call.
Lots of traffic in the end zone. There was a rumble. Hoping Venus trying to get a vertical stack in the end zone to get some option either up the line or from the back of the stack.
And there, the goal, the hold here for Venus as Goulet gets the goal to make it 2-1.
So Goulet just straightforward attacked the open side, and the defender was kind of caught off guard after a little hip fake by Goulet, which was sufficient for Stella's defender to bite into. So Goulet getting open and scoring Venus' first point. Still Stella ahead 2-1 early in this first half. Alors Venus qui vient de s'inscrire au tableau pour une première fois dans ce match. Elle tire de l'arrière 1-2 suite à une belle passe longue qui a été attrapée et par la suite convertie. C'est Goulet qui a inscrit le point, le numéro 42, après qu'elle ait attaqué le côté ouvert, après une petite feinte d'attaquer le côté fermé. Cette feinte a été suffisante pour faire mordre son défenseur et il a permis de s'ouvrir, et après ça on avait eu qu'à compléter avec une passe côté droit.
So Venus down 2-1 here early on in this women's semifinal matchup. They'll look to come out here and generate something new for their defense in order to get the turnover here. Big pull, but that one's gonna catch the wind and sail just out of bounds past the halfway line, so Stella will get a chance to set up downfield.
You can look by the discraft flag that the wind is sideways going from where we are positioned. We have the wind up our face right now, so pretty steady wind going sideways.
Robinson with the disc in the middle. Some poach defense there, but now Person from Venus as it swung around to Green. Green up to Zhao. Into the end zone. The layout defense attempt, but it's reeled in for the score. Stella a hold. They remain up by 2 at 3-1.
So nice bid by the two players. So Venus was ahead in the disc path, but that was not sufficient. She was a little too late, but a great reading, great layout bid by Stella, and it's now 3-1 for Stella in this first half of this semi-final of the Women's Division Championship.
Stella coming out with energy here right off the bat. They clearly excited to be in this situation, looking to get themselves back into a final here, and Venus believe it would be their first shot at a finals if they can make it. Ranked 8th in this tournament, so already crushing their seed here, and definitely not going to want to stop at this point, always looking to do better. So final spot on the line. Stella back out on defense.
So Venus being in the overachievement mode right now. They've already beaten their seed, and their target was to finish 5th in this tournament, but they have already beaten that also. So you're in the mode like, okay, we have nothing to lose. Let's leave it all on the field.
So disc now in play, shot to the middle of the field. Now upfield, a big yardage gainer. Dolbeck Bradette has it, but there appears to be a call in the field as well. Maybe just a travel call back with Bazinet. Although it looks like the disc will stay, so possibly a pick, just resetting. Tapped in, Dolbeck Bradette now finds the reset in Bazinet. Looking for that inside flick option instead, resets to Vio. Upfield for another big gainer here. Vio, and another pick was called in the middle of the field.
So Venus in a great position to score a second point, make it a 1-point game.
The hammer over the top, but there's nobody there in that space as Stella will come down with the D and shoot immediately, looking deep. That one just a little bit too far away from the receiver, but another good deep shot look here from Stella.
And Venus will need to be aware because Bazinet was defending that long threat, and I don't think she was expecting that pass to go that far, but if it wasn't like a little lack of execution, the distance was there, so Venus will need to be aware to make sure they're at least slow down Stella's long game.
Shot up to Vio now. It's like another call, some contact there on the mark. Vio now. The high release over the top finds her reset. Now just holstering that on that opportunity, gets the under instead. Tight defense here, but the inside shot, that one looking for Dolbeck Bradette is going to blade to the ground. And Hannah Dawson will pick up here for Stella. Dawson shooting deep. Stella clearly loved their deep game, and that one, the inside track and showing the guns after in celebration as well. Had the inside lane the entire way. Venus coming down with another defensive play here.
Number 84 showing her guns to her teammates, say, hey, that's how we defend long games. So make sure, hoping to inspire her teammates. So there was a foul on the last action. Number 4 claiming there was a contact. Eve Gervais-Kenville.
Yeah, no contest there from Katie Atchell. Just some contact as they both ran towards the same space. So Gervais Quinivel will look to shoot a flick deep, and the huge grab there. Getting that defensive play is...
She really grabbed it with authority, leaving no doubts that she was that disc was her.
But now this one from Jax is going to be too low.
Well, the point getting longer and longer, and Venus O-line being on the field. They will take a timeout just to regroup and find a way to secure that point to make sure that Stella doesn't run away with the 3-point leads early in this first half.
So timeout here. Both these teams just looking to settle down from this point that has taken a little bit longer right at the start. Stella up 3-1, and both teams are making execution errors. Not so much the Ds are coming down, but the throws are allowing those defensive plays to be made. So at this point, what do you think that either of these teams can do to adjust to fix what's happening?
Well, Stella has been threatening with their long game so far with, I'd say, mitigated success. So they will need to be more accurate on their long games. And Venus, they just give some inside option, attacking the long and then bust in to make their handlers' life easier, because we've seen Venus getting into trouble with very high stall count, forcing stone throws. We saw Vio near the end zone doorstep who had to force a hammer because the stall was so high. So they will need to give their handlers better option, cleaner option, and outrun Stella's very tight defense so far.
So Vio will get us back underway here for Venus. Immediately looking for the reset. That one flying out of bounds, and it looks like an out called there by the observer. She tried to get that back foot into the field first, but flying away. And now a chance here for Stella. Shooting the inside shot to Cantel, who finds an upline option in Dawson. Dawson now finds Danielle Cantel, just trying to set their end zone now as it's reset back to Dawson. Dawson will take that inside shot. That one is low, but not going to affect the play. That is another break here. The goal from Marie-Christine Jacques, and 4-1 Stella lead.
So Stella is punishing Venus for their turnovers near their end zone, taking advantage of that. Even though the execution is not very, very clean, still the result, they're now leading by 3 points, having scored 2 break points so far, and we're still early in this first half. Lots of ultimate to be played for Venus, so they still have time to regroup, but they will need really to work on ensuring they are completing their pass and getting some flow and momentum on their offense. Their defense, although they will have to be careful because Stellas have been trying to bomb some discs with so far not that much success, but still they will need to be aware, because if they're able to connect on their long game, then it can become a very tough position to defend for Venus. Alors Venus qui tire de l'arrière 1-4, Stella y a inscrit leur 4e point sur la dernière séquence, c'était leur 2e point bris dans ce match. Alors Venus qui devra trouver des solutions pour assurer un meilleur rythme à leur offensive, chose de laquelle ils ont souffert jusqu'à date. So Venus on serve.
Just now downfield with a zone look here from Stella, as Venus will try to dish it around. Cote centers that one over to Le Maire Saint-Gelais. Now working it upfield, finding these little holes to dish it through. Pai now upfield, Alicia Zhao with almost the run through D, and holstered there from Demel, but the second attempt from her is going to be shot into the ground and gifting it back to Stella.
So great pivoting by the Venus player, but a little overexcited with her lefty flick. Unfortunately, we're not able to complete it.
Far side now, looking up line to Green, who will reel that one in. Green shooting to the end zone. That one too far over the hands of the first receiver, but the second one will reel that one in here. Another break from Stella. Brittany Cook with the goal. It's 5-1.
So if it doesn't work with the first receiver, we'll try with the second one. I'm not sure it's part of the Stella's game plan, but still, that's how they managed to score that break point. That the first receiver was not able to take full control of the disc, just tipped it away, but there was a second cutter available to catch that disc. The wind probably picked it up, putting it out of reach of the first receiver. Still, nonetheless, Stella leading 5-1 early in this first half. So Venus calling a timeout, just still to, I believe it's their second timeout in this game, trying to regroup. Alors Stella qui vient d'inscrire un 5e point. Et c'est un 3e point bris dans ce match. Elle mène maintenant 5-1. On a vu une belle séquence ça, sur le dernier point où la passe longue a été portée par le vent, mettant le disque légèrement hors de portée du receveur, de la receveur initiale, mais il y avait une autre joueuse de Stella qui passait par là et qui a attrapé le disque, inscrivant un 5e point. Even though Venus is trailing by 4 right now, they just came out of their timeout, and you see that like the players are smiling and jumping, and you know the attitude seems pretty positive, and say, hey, let's make the best out of this, let's have fun, and do our best, and whatever happens at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very early into this game as well, so no reason to really get too down on themselves yet. You do see some teams hang their heads early on, but a very quick first few points here too. We're about just over 20 minutes into this game. Stella leading 5-1, so Venus an opportunity now to go on a run and bring this game back within their reach.
It is challenging to trail by 4 early in this game, but you know it's not a matter of energy. It's a matter of execution. So these things you can control pretty fairly. When you're lacking energy, that's a tougher challenge to overcome.
So Bazinet with the disc for Venus, centering it to Lambert. The undercut's coming, but not finding the option. Goes for the lefty backhand shot, and Jacques with the D here for Stella. Jaffray will get us a chance here to see if they can generate another break as Hannah Dawson reels it in. Cantel holsters just outside of the end zone. Now in to Hannah Dawson for the goal. Another break, not phased by the timeout to slow their momentum there. Stella in control at 6-1.
Great execution near the end zone by Stella. Flawless execution, I can say, and there was a wide open up the line cut from the Stella receiver, which granted no chances for Venus defense. So there seems to be some confusion on Venus transition from O to D in the last sequence. So it's you don't have much time to regroup when you're losing the disc at your own brick mark. So you need to adapt very, very quickly, which Venus kind of suffered from in the last point.
Yeah, Venus just not quite adjusting to the speed that Stella has brought out in this game. Stella clearly using their legs to run through all of these opportunities right now, and in the driver's seat early on. Again, still early in this game. There's plenty of time left, but Venus are going to have to work on transitioning a little bit faster to keep themselves in the conversation here.
Last point, Venus has suffered just to get a first cut open to get some disc movement, and Goulet was also looking for a reset, and it looks like it was complicated. So great pressuring, man-to-man pressure by Stella.
So disc in play here with Bélanger Timothy, and it's swung around to the far sideline. Stella in a zone set here on defense. Now Trudel looking for an option. Static upfield here from Venus. Shoots over the top. That one reeled in. Now Trudel again looks upfield and gets Cote. Through the middle of traffic there to Bélanger Timothy. A pick was called as Pai cutting through the traffic in the middle of the field. Disc will return to the hands of Bélanger Timothy here.
Bélanger Timothy, which is a handler on Venus, and he's also a mother. I saw her breastfeeding her baby. I think it's yesterday, so always impresses me to see those athletes taking care of their newborn and still figuring out a way to play a competitive ultimate.
Baudouin. Cote now into the end zone, and the response, Pai with the goal. 6-2 here. Venus get a hold.
So that will be a relief on Venus, just to make sure that they put another point on the scoreboard after getting broken 3 times in a row. So kudos to their O-line, who will just breathe out of relief. And now let's put a D-line out there and put some pressures on Stella offense.
So Venus, if they can come right back down the other way and generate a break back, they're very much back in this game with only 3 points down at that point. But Stella still looking to stay in control and run away here. Venus, a much better point from them. They managed to hang on to the disc for the entirety of their offensive possession, swinging it around. A few shots through some traffic, which Stella may start to clamp down on in the future. But for now, that one works, and it's a good hold. So Stella here just taking a quick timeout, and that is their way of slowing down the opportunity of Venus to come back the other way with a break, just resetting and getting themselves amped up as well.
Alors c'est 6-2 pour Stella, qui porte les chandails noirs contre Venus. Venus qui vient d'inscrire son deuxième point avec sa ligne offensive. Et l'équipe montréalaise est à la recherche de son premier point bris dans ce match, alors que Stella en a déjà inscrit 4 depuis le début du match. Alors, un défi pour l'équipe montréalaise qui a déjà non seulement battu son classement initial, ils étaient classés 8e, mais s'était donné comme objectif d'atteindre la 5e place. Alors, les deux défis ont été relevés de belle façon. Ils sont en demi-finale. Alors, à ce point-là, ils n'ont absolument plus rien à perdre. Il faut prendre ça un match à la fois, un point à la fois et juste profiter du moment et puis se donner à fond. C'est sûrement ce qu'elle est en train de faire dans la prochaine séquence.
Venus with the big backhand rolling pull downfield as Alicia Zhao will stop that, and now Green picks up. The zone look now, something different here from Venus. Ellis, near sideline. Finds an option in Verney upfield. Centered back to Green now, but through the cup, that one's going to be too low. Green trying to get a little bit too creative with that shot as it gives Venus a chance for their first break of the game.
A risky throw from Stella's handler, but if it had been completed, it would have been like a great opportunity to get a point.
Bouchard with the disc for Venus. Not finding a reset, but finally gets it in Vio, sorry. Looks like Ellis thinking maybe she had that one first, but looks like they will figure it out.
Still, Venus seems to struggle with their reset so far in this game.
Middle now. Bazinet and a call on the mark. The mark there from Stella just getting maybe a little bit too tight. Robinson on the mark there. Vio. Upfield just outside of the end zone on the doorstep now for the break for Venus. Bazinet has it. There's a pick call in the middle of the field. It's a foul call on the mark, and it will be a blue card as it's at least the second time that Robinson has run into Bazinet on the mark, and Venus not phased by it, and they get their break back, make it 6-3, and they're very much so back in this game.
Great patience in the red zone from Venus, just taking their time, making sure they have a clean vertical stack in the end zone, leaving lots of room for the up-the-line cut, which has proven to be successful. And we saw Stella putting a lot of pressure, and they got rewarded, if I can say, with a blue card, with the observers wanting to make sure that Stella's mark is not too physical. So we saw a lot of bumping on the mark so far in this game. And I'd say not only from Stella, some Venus mark also was a little bumpy. So observers, I believe, taking a good decision to ensure there's the spirit of the game remains throughout this women's semifinal.
Stella now back out on offense. We haven't seen their offensive line in a few points now. However, Stella, a team that doesn't really play with O and D lines as much. They like to cross over their players between the two lines. They've got a lot of chemistry among the entire team. So familiar players that we have seen in this game already out on the line, but an offside called with Venus.
Yeah, we mentioned that in previous webcasts, like the outside call. Well, when you manage a team, you say, well, it's the most simple rule to follow. Don't cross the line before the disc is thrown. So first time it's not that bad, but we saw, I think was that the previous game or yesterday in a game where a team got punished by giving away the disc to the other team at the midfield. So 35 yards penalty is something you don't need in an ultimate game.
Ellis now finds Dawson. Zone look again here from Venus. It paid off for them on the last point. Let's see if it can be effective here. Ellis and Dawson going 1 and 2. Another foul on the mark there.
Some discussion happening, but everybody's smiling.
And the heel there for Ellis just on the line. Observer calling the out. Ellis not aware of where her feet were, and it will gift an opportunity back to Venus here, but a pick called. The disc will remain with Pi. Dawson saying she didn't have a play on that one.
So Venus threatening to score second break point in this first half. When they scored a third point, they were getting back into this game, but a second break point would really make this game very tight.
Pi now shooting that one around to Baudouin. A pick called, and immediately disc will be sent back here with Pi.
Lots of picks and lots of foul call in this ongoing point.
Pi looking for an option. Shoots a little over the top for the reset, and it looks like there's going to be a contested stall down call. So coming back in on 8. Pi shooting right away. There is a receiver in that space. Bessette Brault on the doorstep with the disc, looking for their second straight break in a row. Running out of options, but finds one in Dumont Carey for the goal and their second break in a row. Now only down by 2, but it looks like just a call about whether or not it was in, but that is up to the observers to make that call. They're only down 6-4 now.
Well, we've said it earlier, there's a lot of ultimate to be played. Venus was trailing 6-1, but now they caught back and they're only trailing by 2, scoring their second break point in a row. Alors Venus qui tirait de l'arrière 6-1 avec encore beaucoup de temps de jeu devant elle, réussissent à enchaîner 3 points consécutifs, dont 2 points bris sur la dernière séquence, ce qui réduit l'écart à seulement 2 points. Stella qui mène toujours 6-4 en cette première demi de la semi-finale du championnat canadien d'Ultimate Division féminine. Merci d'être avec nous. On est à Brampton, en Ontario. Magnifique journée pour jouer au Ultimate avec un petit vent là, qui nous vient un peu face à nous. On peut le voir par les drapeaux qui flottent. Alors, c'est confirmé. Nous avons un match, mesdames et messieurs.
So Venus looking to bring this back within 1. Stella on the back foot a little bit now with the momentum in the favor of the team from Quebec, as that big rolling pull will send its way down field, and Green will pick up here the zone look that's been so effective for Venus. Back Dawson now, the only space really inside this cup, as that one shoots through to Robinson. Verney far side now with Nadinger. Looking for an option and finds it in Dawson. Dawson will shoot the inside shot to Verney in the end zone, and Stella finds a response to remain up now at 7-4.
Flawless execution by Stella. O-line really finding one hole into Venus Cup. And after that, that was the end of this point. They just kept on moving the disc laterally, taking advantage of the no mark, and it was a pretty straightforward point by Stella. So great execution, great handling work to find the hole into Venus Cup. So Stella is back, leading by 3, 7-4. Stella now 1 point away from the halftime.
Stella will look to break here, going back the other way. The wind is coming towards our booth here, so towards the camera. The cross-field breeze definitely having an effect throughout the course of the day, although neither of these teams too phased by it yet.
Alors Vénus qui tire toujours de l'arrière 4-7 en cette fin de première demi. Stella qui a très bien répondu en brisant la marque de Vénus sur la dernière séquence. Une superbe exécution de continuité en possession du disque.
Cote now finds Bélanger Timothy, who will shoot around backhand looking for Richard, and she reels that one in. Now not finding another option here. Gets the reset in Cote. Cote to the end zone. Baudouin, but a pick was called as Baudouin was very open there on the far side.
Suspiciously, indeed. So Venus still in a good position in the red zone. You see their vertical stack. They seem to be very, very disciplined in that aspect of the game.
Right away, looking to the back corner of the end zone for Baudouin. The great cut, this time open based on pure ability to get past her defender there, and they keep this game within 2, 7-5.
Great pass by Milan Cote. It was kind of a copy-paste of what happened a few seconds prior to that, but there was a pick call, but they just say, hey, it worked the first time you are on the open side, so on the break side. And she just replicated that nice throw, finding Baudouin in the end zone to score their 5th point of this first half. Stella still leading 7-5. Alors, belle exécution de Mylène Côté sur la dernière séquence. Il y avait eu un appel d'obstruction lors de la première opportunité. Mais les deux joueuses côté Baudouin se sont dit « Hey, ça a marché tantôt. On va refaire ça. » On fait un copier-coller et ça a été le même lancer droit, très bien exécuté de Mylène Côté, alors que Baudouin s'était démarqué de façon franche dans la zone de points. C'était le 5e point de Venus. Toujours 7-5 pour Stella dans cette demi-finale du championnat canadien d'Ultimate division féminine.
Venus looking to come back the other way, get another break in this game. They've brought it back to keep it close here as another huge rolling backhand pull goes up. These pulls so good from Richard right now. The zone look comes down, and Zhao has it here for Stella. Now Green. Green looking for an option, gets it in the dish into the middle. Now shot from Robinson to Verney. We'll find Ellis. Ellis to Green. Green just surveying the options, and Zhao and Green now give going with each other as she looks to Zhao in the end zone. No problem there, and Stella will take half with a 3-point lead at 8-5.
Once again, I'm impressed by Stella's execution, and like they found the hole in Venus Cup. The previous point, it was through a low release backhand, but this one just a little scuba over the edge of the cup, and which created the whole momentum they needed to circulate the disc up until a nice up the line cut and passes to win this first half of this semifinal. Stella leads 8-5.
So we will take a short break with this halftime here. We will be back shortly with second half action here from the women's semifinal. Come back in a couple minutes. Welcome back to the 2018 Canadian Ultimate Championships Women's Semi-Final action here, brought to you by VC Ultimate. And we are here in Brampton, Ontario. Stella leading at halftime, 8-5. Becky Thompson here with Etienne Fournier. And Etienne, how can you sum up that first half for us?
Well, Stella took a lead, a 6-1, like aligning the break points. But Venus fought back. We're able to align 3 points in a row to close the gap. So 8-5, still in favor of Stella. But looking forward to see how Venus will, how will they adjust in the second half of the team. We saw that they played a zone defense, tried to slow down Stella's offense, which had some success, but let's see if they replicate that zone defense. And of course, how they can manage their O-line to be steady and deliver the points that the O-line should deliver.
So Stella will start the second half here on defense. They will look to get a break right off the bat and see if they can pull away with this game. Venus, on the other hand, looking to hold, as Jaffrey will get us underway here. Another big around backhand pull. Now into the middle with Cote. Bélanger, Timothy here on the near sideline, looking for an option. Tight defense here from Stella, taking away her chances as she has to shoot it deep. That one, Jacques coming down with it with the Venus player. If that was caught at the same time, it does go to offense. But Jacques seeming pretty confident that she had that one in her hands first, so looks like they will go to the observer.
I have to admit that from my perspective, it looks like also like Jacques had her hands before Venus players. So let's say that the players are discussing, laughing, having fun with the observers. They will figure it out. Alors nous sommes ici au championnat canadien d'Ultimate Division féminine. C'est la demi-finale qui oppose Stella d'Ottawa à Venus de Montréal. On a éprouvé quelques difficultés en termes de son. On travaille là-dessus pour améliorer tout ça. Merci de vos commentaires, particulièrement Yannick Leduc.
Pie now looking for a reset and gets it in Cote. Now looking for the around flick, and Richard will come down with that. There was a pick called, but I don't think it affected the play. That's one of those pick calls where sometimes you wish players might, if there was a rule that would allow them to take a second to look to see if it affected the play instead of causing the stoppage in play here. It definitely looked like there was no effect on that disc or catch, so we will see what is resolved. The observer is just talking it through, but disc, I believe, should stay with Richard, and it looks like it will. She's about 2 yards from the end zone here, looking for a hold. Disc back in. Richard fakes the shot to the end zone. Now looking for Pie. Gets her for the score. And just like that, out of half, Venus gets the hold.
Great catch by Geneviève Richard on the doorstep of the end, so she was able to read the disc and lay out to save the day of this pass. And afterward, a great pass and a great read also by Payet, was able to catch that disc in a, I'd say, unconventional way. But still, the result, Venus is trailing by 2. Stella had 8-6 at the beginning of this second half.
And Venus ready for that response as they came out of the gate looking fairly confident as well. So not surprised to see them come down with that in the end zone here. And still looking to get another break back as well to see if they can close the gap. Stella in a comfortable position, up 3 points on the break point if they can get this hold. So we'll see if they're happy to trade, continue to trade, or if they can also set off on a run.
So looking forward to see if Venus will set zone defense against Stella O. They were not able to get even like a turnover in the last two episodes of their zone defense. So let's see what they are doing right now.
That disc pulled out of bounds, so Green will get a chance to walk it into the field now. And bring it to the brick mark. Green will shoot straight upfield. The Huck should have been easily reeled in. I spoke too quickly on that one. Verney so open with the read on that disc, but gifts it back here to Venus. But immediately getting the run through D back. Verney clearly wanted that one back from the drop. And Stella back on the doorstep. Robinson. That one is going to float into coverage, and Richard will come down with it here for Venus. Richard in control in that situation, reading it better than the 6 other players who were there. Alicia Zhao trying to run through that one, but Venus keeps it in their hands despite the pressure defense. Looking for the deep shot. Goulet now finds the under. Bazinet back to Goulet in the middle of the field here for Venus, and Goulet will shoot that one deep. That one trailing to the right, and just too far pushed away by the wind for Gervais Quinnevel there to get it, and Stella has a chance now to go the full 70 yards back the other way.
Gervais Quinnevel hesitated just a split second, but I think the wind really picked it up out over reach. But if she hadn't stopped running, maybe she could have had a bit on that last possession.
Cook finds Robinson. Robinson now narrowly through traffic there as Verney has it to Ellis. Looking for Nadinger, and she will shoot towards the end zone for Cook. Contact between the two players. Cook will reel that one in. Think there will be a call on the field. Stella's players coming too quickly onto the field there. They have to wait for the observer to signal.
Gervais Quinnevel calling a foul, but it looks to me like she was slightly behind her player, so she's acknowledging that and just confirming, and then the observer is confirming the point. So Stella scoring a 9 points, still confirming their 3 lead versus Venus, 9-6.
It looked to me like she was actually the one who caused the foul on Cook there. There was contact, and she did go to the ground, but since she was running behind Brittany Cook, contact more caused by Gervais Quinnevel there. So easily resolved between the two players. Not too long of a discussion. And Stella keeping their 3-point lead here on this hold. See if they can generate their first break of the second half here with this point.
Alors Stella qui vient d'inscrire un 9e point. Elle confirme leur avance de 3 points. 9-6 contre Vénus en ce début de deuxième demi. Alors, Vénus, la défensive de Vénus qui n'a pas réussi à freiner l'offensive de l'équipe d'Ottawa. Et c'est maintenant au tour de Vénus de recevoir le lancer d'engagement pour réduire l'écart à nouveau à 2 points dans cette demi-finale du championnat canadien d'Ultimate édition 2018. Merci d'être avec des nôtres. On sait qu'on a quelques difficultés côté du son présentement et on tente de régler la situation pour vous offrir le meilleur webcast possible. Donc, merci de votre compréhension.
Just back in play with Baudouin. Now Cote. Baudouin just looking for an option, person to person. Tight defense here from Stella. And that causes the disc to fly too far away from Pai, and Jaffrey will get a chance here to bring it back in play.
Stella looking to score the first break point of the second half.
That huge huck going up, shooting to the end zone is going to be too far out from the player. Cassandra Jaffrey there wanted that backhand huck all the way. You could see as soon as she picked it up, she only had eyes for the end zone, but manages to put it too far ahead of her receiver, giving it back here to Venus to see if they can go and get their hold. Pye brings it in play. The Venus players fairly static in that stack there with Bissett, Brault now. Pye again shooting, looking for Baudouin. That's a great shot deep as Baudouin now will shoot in front of her receiver, Trudell, into the end zone for the hold, taking advantage and going all the way to make it 9-7.
So great long pass by Payet, really piping it from her backhand. Gabrielle Baudouin was really, she distanced herself from her defender and she just grabbed it. After that, Baudouin just catching the disc and feeding her teammate in the end zone. So a 2 passes point, that's what you like to get when you when you play some catch-up ultimate, quick points, and then you throw your D-line out there in hopes of getting a break point. So alors Stella qui mène toujours 9-7 après ce dernier point de Vénus. Une superbe longue passe de Payet qui a trouvé Baudouin. Et ensuite Baudouin, sans hésitation, a alimenté sa coéquipière pour inscrire le 7e point de Vénus. Elle joue toujours du ultimate de rattrapage, mais Vénus se doit de trouver des solutions pour contrer l'offensive de Stella qui a été jusqu'à date présenter un très très bon, de très très belles performances. À suivre.
So the pull will come up here from Richard for Venus. Looking to get another break back as that one goes through the feet of Ellis, who was trying to stop the roll. Ellis now gets Dawson in the backfield. Cantel back to Dawson. Finds Cantel again in the middle. Cantel and Dawson going 1 and 2 here, back and forth as the defense is so tight upfield from Venus, and a travel called here on the mark.
Venus pushing hard on defense to get a turnover.
Dawson to Ellis. Ellis up line finds Robinson. Cantel now a couple yards out of the end zone. And there's Alicia Zhao in the end zone. That one floating into space in front of Zhao for the hold and the goal to make it 10-7.
So somehow, someway, Venus defense could not stop the open side cut from Stella. So they will need to figure this out, because in the last 5 completed pass by Stella, 4 of them were on the open side. It was like straightforward open side cutting by Stella. So let's give credit to Stella's cutting, but Venus will have to stop that if they expect to get the necessary break point in order to remain in hopes of winning this semifinal and playing the final.
Yeah, absolutely. Just need to generate something a little bit different. They managed to put that pressure and that zone defense that we saw and we have continued to see throughout the game as well, but especially in that second part of the first half, when they were able to really generate those turnovers to bring this game back within their reach. But now maybe just needing 1 or 2 more adjustments. The speed of these Stella players, especially going up the line, has been very difficult for them to guard. So maybe looking at a little bit of a flatter wall. They've been around in their cup, which is giving a lot of space for the dishes through the middle as well. So maybe looking to just flatten it out and really take those upfield opportunities away.
Alors Vénus qui tire de l'arrière toujours par 3 points en possession du disque.
Cote now, person set here again from Stella, as Cote running out of options gets the reset in Pye, but there was a call on the mark.
It's a stall down. So turnover for Stella.
Uncontested stall down call as well. Gives Stella their first chance to break here in the second half as Hannah Dawson goes to pick up. Dawson to the far sideline. Now back up line to Dawson. That one just gently touched by Trudell, or just enough pressure to cause Hannah Dawson not to be able to reel that one in. And Venus getting themselves back with the disc here, but that one from Baudouin too far in front of Cote. And now Stella 10 yards out of the end zone looking to break.
Really Stella in the red zone here, looking for the first break point of the second half. Not only Stella's break point, but both teams' break point.
That one floating too high, and it'll be reeled in by the defense. Stella showing a little bit affected by the wind right now as Venus looks to dish it back upfield. Pye in possession. Gets Trudell. Back to Pye. That one touched by Jaffrey, and she lays out to keep that on the ground for the D. Huge play here from Stella. They want this break. They want to stay up and extend their lead in this game as Dawson now will shoot to Jaffrey. The layout for the goal! And they celebrate in style as Stella extends their lead to 4 at 11-7 in this semifinal.
So Jeffrey, that has been playing outstanding defense so far in this game. She looked like she was a little trigger happy in that point, missing some pretty straightforward opportunities when you were on the doorstep of scoring a break point. But she took back her mistake and made the defense and laying out to ensuring that this was going down. And after that, laying out for a second time in the same point to score the first break point of Stella in the second half. They are now ahead by 4, and time is clock is ticking for Venus, so they will need to find some solution sooner than later if they expect to remain in the course of this game.
Yeah, only about just over 20 minutes left in this game, so time not on the side of Venus, hence the timeout call here to really try and reset it. And the last time we saw them take a timeout, they were at 5-1 down. They then managed to bring it back within to 6-4. So a good time again to take this timeout and get themselves pumped up to make this run.
Alors Stella qui vient d'inscrire le premier point bris de cette deuxième demi. Non seulement le premier point bris de Stella, mais des deux équipes. Elles viennent de se donner une avance de 4 points. Elles mènent 11-7. Après une belle performance de Jeffrey, qui a effectué non seulement la défensive pour le point, mais qui en plus a inscrit le point. Et autant la défensive que le point inscrit ont été faites sur des plongeons. Alors, quelle performance là, de Jeffrey, de l'équipe d'Ottawa. Alors, Venus devra absolument se regrouper très rapidement parce qu'il reste environ une vingtaine de minutes à cette deuxième demi. Comment répondront-elles après ce point, après avoir subi ce point bris? C'est ce qu'on va savoir dans les prochains instants. On est en la demi-finale du championnat canadien division féminine qui oppose Vénus de Montréal à Stella d'Ottawa. Pour ceux qui viennent de joindre à nous, Stella porte le chandail noir et les chandails blancs sont portés par les Montréalaises.
Stella with the pull, that one floating into the wind and will stay just in bounds on the far sideline. Now Vio in the middle puts that one upfield to Pion Massicote, who shoots that one towards Richard, but this time Alicia Zhao wins her matchup to get there with the D. Stella, another chance here to break to see if they can pull away further. Green. Zhao now in the middle. Doucet looks for Zhao, whose speed is unparalleled in this game so far. Upfield to Cook. Brittany Cook now finds the big dump back to Alicia Zhao. That one low, but Jaffrey gets there with the slide and now faking the huck back to Green. Green gets Dawson in the middle. Dawson to Jeffrey, taking care of this disc right now. Stella showing some patience here. Inside shot to Dawson, who lays out just to make sure that they retain possession. Now looking for an option in the end zone. Goes the around backhand, but the D, and it looks like an immediate foul call. Disc will return to the hands of Hannah Dawson. Coming in on one, so uncontested. Dawson yelling at her team to reset their end zone here. Inside shot for the goal, and another break here for Stella as they come back strong out of the timeout call, up 12-7.
And that is a backbreaker for Venus. They're now trailing by 5. So great fighting by Stella. Zhao making a great defense and outrunning her opponent. She is so quick, and not only has she done the defense, but she also makes sure that the disc was circulating well amongst the dark jerseys. So Jeffrey scoring that 12 point for Stella, giving them a 5-point leads, and about 15 minutes left into this half. So huge challenge for Venus if they want to win this game. Alors, Stella qui vient d'inscrire un deuxième point bris consécutif, qui vient de donner, prendre une sérieuse option sur la victoire. Elle mène par 5, 12-7. Il reste environ une quinzaine de minutes à faire dans ce match. Alors, un très sérieux défi là, qui attend Vénus et va espérer gagner ce match et accéder à la finale. Donc, il reste à savoir comment la O-line de Vénus répondra après s'être fait briser 2 fois de façon consécutive dans les derniers instants. 12-7, Stella.
Green with the pull. Stella keeping their top lines on the field here, wanting to close this game out and prepare themselves for what might be to come tomorrow. Baudouin to Pai. Pai looking for an option, but shutdown defense makes her huck it deep, but she has Baudouin in the area, but Ellis gets there first and gets the D here for Stella.
Stella needed, Venus needed to try something out, which they did, but unfortunately that was not sufficient. Great defense by Stella.
Now into the middle with Green. Far side with Michaud, who finds Atchel in the middle to Cantel now. Cantel will shoot that one, looking for Verney. Out in front, the layout for the goal! Incredible as she spikes it into the air. Allison Verney flying to get to that one, and they are now 2 points away from going to the finals.
Well, all my respect to Stella. Way to make a statement. It's their third break point in a row, and with a long pass, with a nice layout grab by the Stella receivers. Stella, their intention is not only to close the book, but they're making, they're walking the talk and see the output of that. So great long passes, great execution by Stella, taking now almost unsurmountable advance by 6 points late in that second half of the game. Alors quel jeu de Stella sur la dernière seconde, une longue passe qui a vraiment été attrapée suite à une très belle lecture et un très beau plongeon de la joueuse de l'équipe d'Ottawa. Et là, Stella qui vient de mettre le match, soyons honnêtes, presque hors de portée pour Venus, qui tire de l'arrière maintenant par 6 points avec un peu moins d'une quinzaine de minutes à faire dans ce match. Donc très belle. Il faut rendre crédit à Stella qui joue un excellent match, une excellente deuxième demi, qui vient d'inscrire les 4 derniers points au cours de cette deuxième mi-temps. Alors Venus en offensive.
So Venus looking to close this game out strong and maybe go on a run here with 15 minutes remaining. Upfield now, that one low but caught. Inside shot now, bobbled, but Goulet keeps that one and then shoots for the end zone. Dolbeck Bredette for the goal. Venus celebrating, and they get one back on the board to make their score at 8.
There was only one way to respond for Venus, and that's what they did. Just a flawless execution, a few passes, a quick 0 point for Venus, hoping to stay in the race. We're not sure of the output, but one thing we're sure of is that Venus will fight until the end, so making that game very, very interesting and entertaining.
Venus showing us that they are a team who deserves to be in this top 4 with plays like that as well. They may be on the losing side of this game, but I'm sure we'll have an exciting third place game for them today as well. I mean, not over yet, just time not on their side, of course, not impossible. If they went on a break run right now, they would need to score 4 breaks in a row to get back within 1 before the horn goes in the next 15 minutes. So you never want to say something's impossible for a team, but it would definitely be very hard to do at this point in the game.
It would be quite an upset.
So, update from the other women's semifinal right now. Iris leads PPF 11-9, so a closer game over there. It was 11-7 for Iris, so PPF making a little bit of a comeback as well. So we'll try and get you some updates from that. But right now, Ellis back into play here with Zhao in possession. Zhao centers back to Ellis. Green. Ellis, patience here from Stella. Centering back, Robinson gets low to keep that one in possession. Now shooting to Verney, who gets there through the pressure defense. Nadinger upfield. Verney sliding just outside the end zone on the line here. Now looking, gets the shortcut upfield to Green, who takes advantage of the tight space and brings it to game point here for Stella.
Once again, great handling movement by Stella. We were able to manage Venus, a very tight women-to-women defense. So great execution by the dark jerseys, are 1 point shy of playing a final here at the national championship.
Yeah, and they look absolutely pumped up and excited right now. They know what this means for them as a team. The last time they played in a final, I believe, was 2014 in Waterloo, where they lost to PPF. So looking to come in and win their first ever Canadian Ultimate Championships as well. So they are en route. Game point here, looking to face the winner of Iris PPF tomorrow, which is still a close game there with about 10 minutes remaining.
C'est 14-8 en faveur de Stella en cette fin de deuxième demi. Stella qui n'est plus qu'à un seul petit point d'accéder à la grande finale de ce championnat canadien division féminine édition 2018. And you see Venus still cheering for their teammates on the field. Great spirit, even though they're trailing by 6 late in the second half.
That one shot the big flick around, and it'll be reeled in by Gervais Quinivel. Now on the end zone line for Venus. Goes for the inside flick to Richard. Gets the point. The excitement on the faces of Venus. They take their points to 9.
Well, that's the spirit. Even though you're trailing by 6 at the end of the second quarter, you're still fighting, and you say, well, let's play one more point to see what happens. And then, well, let's take one more point again and one more point again. So great statement by Venus. And now Stella will be in a position to close the book. It will be on serve. Alors Stella là, qui mène toujours 14-9, mais rendons crédit à Vénus qui ont inscrit un autre point, qui veulent s'assurer de jouer un maximum de points dans ce match et n'abandonnent pas. Alors rendons-leur crédit, très représentatif de la culture du Ultimate. On joue jusqu'à la fin, particulièrement lorsqu'on est au championnat canadien. Pour plusieurs équipes, c'est la conclusion de leur saison. Stella smiling because in a great position to close this game. Venus also smiling, I guess because they're having fun. And they played a good game also.
Yeah, and Venus, of course, crushing their seed from coming into this tournament. They were seeded 8th, so they've got to be feeling good about being in the top 4 at this tournament, even if making the finals is a little bit out of their reach at this point with Stella on offense on game point here. But definitely so much for this Venus team to be proud of.
The depth of Stella's handling has made a difference into this game, and Venus also struggled to get their resets clean, which has caused them a few turnovers. So I think that's what made the difference into this game.
So we'll see now if Stella can close this one out.
At one point earlier in the first half, Stella was winning 6-1, so 5-point leads, and that's that same 5-point leads we are looking at right now. So it's very hard to recover from that such a big score difference early in the game. So that's what Venus attempted to do, but so far they are still training.
So disc will be brought to the middle. Samantha Green looking to end this game as Alicia Zhao has it. Robinson. Just a discussion upfield of a pick call. Zhao returning to where she was. That one low, but Zhao gets it now to the end zone for Brittany Cook for the goal and the win. Stella is headed to the 2018 Canadian Ultimate Championships final.
Congratulations to Stella. They were really, I believe, the best team on the field for this semi-final, but let's give a lot of credit to Venus, who really fought back. They were trailing 6-1 early in the first half, but they really fought hard and made some kind of a comeback, but it was a little too short. And still, Venus has to be very, very proud of their Canadian performance here, the Canadian Championship performance. They were seeded 8th. Their expectation was to finish 5, but then now they will be fighting for the 3rd position for the bronze medal. So congratulations to Stella for reaching the final and to Venus for such a great run into this semifinal.
Thank you so much for tuning in with us here. We'll be back at 2:10 p.m. with Women's Masters Division final action for Becky Thompson, Etienne Fournier. It's been a good morning with you. We'll be back soon.